So when it was District 59 and 95, when all the countries of the European bloc got together, I really witnessed harmony in diversity. In Athens, Greece, when I met some familiar faces who are here today. So you have come a long way. Toastmasters International has come a long way in all the 6 districts in the Europe. I'm excited to be here to share a few thoughts at this unprecedented time. But I'm also equally excited because you're not still tired of me, because I spent in person in all of 18, 59 and 95 in Warsaw, in Germany, Frankfurt, and all these places. And I was surprised that you still want to hear me. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, Elena. And thank you, Gabriela, the leadership of 108 this year. You have been a remarkable leader, because I consider all district directors of this year will leave a legacy that they led this movement in the most crisis moments in our human history. When the human history has lost its spirit to the human heart, today the world has become about numbers, not about members in our terms, but in the world's term, not about people. It's sad that we have to go through this, but nevertheless, we have. I owe it to all those district directors who led their teams in these times. So thank you for your service. And I also would wish to thank all the district officers who supported them. And I'm delighted that you have with you, and I have with me now, your international director, Ture Valasvita. And I heard from past international director, Morag Matheson, who's supposed to be here with us, and all the other international and district officers of District 108 and other districts from around the world. If you're listening, thank you for being here to support 108 in their endeavor while they discover harmony in diversity. In these unprecedented times, when so many people are forced to stay at home, dealing with their challenges because of the pandemic, one of the things that warms my heart is how lots of folks are adding value and being of service to people and humanity. It's about learning new skills when we are locked inside the house, when attention spans are flagging throughout much of human history. And I also would like to congratulate all those 3 new elected officers to their positions as CGD in Deauville, PQD in Monica, and District Director in Elena. Congratulations to you as you take over office come 1st July for another great year as you start this year with opportunities to serve in crisis moments. That's the topic of the day, because I thought I will share my journey in this keynote. Then when I was speaking to Elena, a couple of days ago and yesterday especially, I decided to change that direction because it's not about me. It's not about you. It's all of us in these difficult times. So I decided, yes, motivation is important. Yes, inspiration is important. But what's more important right at this moment is the process and the tools in order to face the challenging world that lies ahead of us. So I decided to just move out of the motivation and inspiration strategy to give you some tools today, and in which I will relate some of my personal experiences that you or your members may be going through at this point in time. I consider speaking to a room full of leaders at this moment in time, but I'm also equally concerned about those people who could not join us at this conference, who could not listen to the speech contest, who could not listen to the proceedings of the 108 conference. So my humble appeal to all the leadership of District 108 and all those listening in this call to get back to our clubs and share the testimony of this virtual conference, more importantly, with those people whom we will talk about in the tips and tools in a little while, to bring them back to our clubs for something they might be lacking now. So in that order, I would like to just go in the order of some sequence to give you some tools and tips, and especially just reflect on what has gone wrong in the world now. Why are we losing our members? And why aren't our members coming to meetings? Why aren't they paying their dues? When I reflected on all those things, I just went back to when I started Toastmasters journey in 1989. I joined a club as I was introduced by Davil. I joined the only club in Sri Lanka at that time, the first club in South Asia. And I was a club officer for 12 long years. You would think that I had immense patience to become the president of Colombo Toastmasters Club. Yes, true. But it is more true that I did not have the confidence. I did not have the self-confidence to lead an eminent group of people. The ambassador of the United States of America in John Reed at that time, and many other corporate heads, chairmen and presidents of companies, both from the government and private sectors. So this is the kind of people that I was to lead, or I had to lead in the last 5 years of my club leadership journey. So every year I found someone to make them a leader because I didn't have the confidence. And I also thought that I did not have the confidence to face the remarkable leadership at that time. Leading my club was almost leading an area, because when I became the club president, we were a 100-member club. So you can imagine, it's like running a mini conference. So the year came 2002-03, and when I just stepped into that leadership journey, I discovered my self-confidence. Little did I know that this journey will go on a non-stop basis right up to here in 2020, which started in 2002, July 1st. So my friends, the art of self-confidence has become the most necessary skill of the day in order to face these times. And I also would like to say then, moving on, every step that I moved on in my leadership journey was all crisis moments. In 2004, when I was the chair of the Territorial Council of South Asia, or I have explained to you at the Athens conference, all that title is too long. You can't now count the number of words, but what it really meant was leading 3 to 4 clubs. In 2004, some of you might remember or would have read that the Sri Lankan coastal belt with a devastating tsunami, which claimed about close to 50,000 lives and hundreds of thousands homeless people, because the sea did not only swallow lives, it also swallowed thousands of homes. So in that time, I had the distinct opportunity of visiting the sites which was hit very badly. And when I went to a camp in one of the coastal belts where we have the most natural deep harbor in Trincomalee, the east of Sri Lanka. In that city, when I went to the camp where the victims were homeless, were camping, I saw tons of food flowing into the camp and in the surrounding area. I saw so much of clothes being distributed because all their clothes went to the sea. And I saw temporary tents being put up for families to live. I saw Red Cross and all the other service organizations on site working so diligently and hard. But at the same time, I saw some people who looked like they didn't want any of those things. So when I was just walking by with my friends, I saw a gentleman keeping his daughter in his lap, or a person named Kandaya, who had not opened his mouth for almost 3 to 4 days from the time the tsunami struck the coast. And he looked really lost. And I just sat beside and tried to speak to him, and he wouldn't open at the start. But slowly, because of my Toastmaster experience, I was able to open him out and and started listening. And he slowly opened to share his story, my friends. Story that I will remember till I live. And he said, what he shared with me was that he saw his wife and 2 children being swept away by the sea. And then he wanted to save them, and he jumped in, although he was not still inside, and held the 2 children and saw the wife going away from him. And now he realized that he had to get back to the shore swimming, or he might have go inside swimming. So he had to let go one child, because if he held on to both children, he also will drown with them. So he let go one child. And in a couple of minutes, he came back to the shore with one child. So he came back with his daughter and let the son go to the sea. What a move, what a story to hear. My heart sunk, and kept in touch with him. But I learned the power of listening and the power of active listening. And I also would like to twist and say that although I took many Toastmasters later, some of the friends who were in my club and a few other clubs by then, to listen to people of their stories, because it's not about money. It's not about positions. It's not clothing and food and shelter and all these things. They wanted someone to share their stories. And that's the time I even learned the twist of just active listening and not active hearing. So listening with the heart is more important than just listening with your ears. And that, my friends, calmed that Kandaya and many others through those stories that we listen. Today, I would like to just reflect on this and ask of you to listen to those people who are not with us in our membership now, who decided not to renew, and some of those people who have renewed but a little lost for what is happening in their lives. Because as I said, it is about numbers and not people. It is about letting go people and not holding people. So it is about not serving people, but it is about how not to serve at this time because of all the other resources and reasons that we can give and list out. So this is the time for our leaderships. And this is a time to test our leadership skills in the art of listening. And if every one of us can just take one person at a time and listen to their stories of why they lost their job, what is their family conditions, and just give them that self-confidence that you always have a future that lies ahead. And I cannot relate to any other program than the Toastmasters program to come back to life, because it is these skills that is necessary to secure the next job. So it is time that we listen to all those people who did not renew or decided not to renew, and those people on the fence, to listen to them. And the reason you listen, they will decide to come back because of what you will share with them, and for the confidence that you will fill in them, they might decide to come back and start learning, because this is their opportunity also to upskill and retool them. If you may have read my presidential wave columns, I'm a great believer of Toastmasters being a learning laboratory. Face-to-face meetings were a learning laboratory. Now, online platforms have become a learning laboratory. And today I will relate that our human body has become a learning laboratory, with or without meetings, because that is what we have to possess, because it is about upskilling ourselves. It is about just study the process and avail the tools that is necessary to face the future. You know, I am an entrepreneur, as I was introduced. Even I did not have the confidence when we were locked down 50 days inside the house with a stringent rule called curfew, which you may not be familiar to, because you could just go out and buy your essentials and your food and things like that in the Europe. But here, we could not get out of our houses, and that was the rule of the curfew. So 50 days, we were just locked inside, and came by some trucks for us to buy our essentials. But when I went to office just last Monday, we have worked 10 days now, and last Monday and sat in office, I can talk all these things to you now. I can share all these things to you now. But the truth is that I also lost my confidence, whether I can save my company, whether I can save my people from hardship, whether I can pay my people in the coming days, doubting my own self-confidence. But over a period of 10 days, I've gained confidence, and I've realized we need only a little to live. So if I just make my heart not sink, but console myself and say, it doesn't matter if we do not earn money this year. What matters is if you can just keep the people and keep going and serve the customers in need and serve the people in need, serve the Toastmasters who are in need of our help. So that was my decision. So we could hold positions, we could have all the money on earth, but we are also doubting ourselves at this point in time. So when you listen to these people, you could come out of your own confidence and then instill confidence in you and instill confidence in others through all the Toastmaster skills that we have learned in the past. Because for me, in my life, crisis leadership, I probably is in my DNA, because that's who I am, who I was destined with. In 2002, I became the Territorial Council Chair, and I was instrumental in the formation of, with a group of people from Sri Lanka, with India, when I consider that as a troubled time, because it is not easy to form a partnership with India, because they had 1.23 billion people at that time, and Sri Lanka had just a couple of millions. So their doubt was more than belief. So the crisis that I'm talking of was to just give up all the titles away to India and hold on to the big picture and form the council for the good of the human world and good of the Toastmasters in the future to come, which is now 18 years old, they are 14, 15 years old, because it was not about titles. It was about getting connected to the big picture and making people connect to the big picture. And in 2008-9, the rest is history. I just climbed up in the district leadership, although I stepped down in 2006 for some reason, and I stepped back because I felt the castle, foundation of the castle was just crippling apart. And 2008-9, I was the district director in another worst time that this world saw in the financial market. When in 2008-9, when the financial crisis came, which again made the world very dark, I was the district director who had the distinct pleasure of just serving irrespective of the financial market crisis and all the crises. You could buy homes for $10,000 in the US in that year. Yes, that is the truth. But I did not worry. We kept going. And we looked at the markets, we looked at people, we looked at empowering people, and we looked at those people who had lost their jobs to get back to them and upskilling them and boosting their confidence. To Toastmasters International and District 82 that I led, I was with utmost humility that I would like to share with you that I was able to lead with my team who were so passionate, 99 people, who believed in the program, helped me lead the district to #1 in the world, but that's not important. We had one of those most glorious years in the international world in 2008-9, when 46 out of 75 or 80 districts became distinguished. We are yet to reap that kind of results. In the year that Jana Barnhill was the president, and I had the pleasure of sitting with her and the keynote speaker at the opening ceremony, Sanborn, Markham Buckingham in the Connecticut conference. So it was possible to make it even then. And then in recent times, 2017, 2018, some board members who are listening to this will know what a difficult time Toastmasters International went through. Both on the district front, we did not have all the pandemic, or we did not have any Spanish flu, but we had our own flu because we shifted from California to Denver, Colorado, and the transition hurt us so badly that we had tough times in 2016, 17, 18. Our overall performance just came to the rock bottom. We projected zero growth, all those things, but we fought back. And we did all the right things. We improved all the processes and the tools necessary to come back. And my friends, I would like to share that we would have had, and I'm sure you will agree with me, as one of the decisions made during that time was the one that was to allow 2 districts in the Europe to become 6 districts. That's the kind of growth that we saw in you. And for all the right things that we did, we were going to have one of the best years in Toastmasters history in 2020, closing June 30th. God decided otherwise, and yes, we are all here. We have lost members, and it is inevitable, but not to lose members. Yeah, we have lost our members, we have lost clubs. But I would congratulate the team, District 108 team, for holding tight. You had a base of 91 clubs, and you're still at 91 clubs. My friends, congratulations, and I applaud you for that. You're down 662 payments. And I'm sure you can definitely come back in the next 40 days. And you also definitely can surpass the goals you will you need for distinguished clubs with all your endeavors. And I would like to also leave this skill with you, to go back to the non-renewing member list of the last 2 years of yours and put the district team or the membership team to action, to listen to all those people who did not renew. I won't be surprised that you might get your goals because you listen. So it's time for us to just reach out to them and embrace them and help them through these difficult times. Because they left us for not just merely for the money. They left us for various obvious reasons. But if you reach out to them, they might decide otherwise. So it's a good tool to put into action so that you can just get them back. If you think of helping, because being inside the house and whoever reached out to you and the European world, I'm lost for words for what Europe has done to us in this country and some countries. Even when thousands were dying in Italy, even when thousands were dying in Spain, and in all the countries that you represent, I saw people donating online to those people who cannot, who doesn't have the privilege of having 3 meals a day. So my friends, yes, that's one form of donation, one form of help. If we are to help some deserving cases, and if we can find a time in the human need, it is time, it is now is the time that we need to help them. If we can pool just 10 euro, $10, 10 rupees, 10 francs, each of us can just pool that resources and see how many deserving cases we can help. If they need this, and if the reason why they left is only because they could not afford our program, that is the biggest donation that you will give to bring someone's life back in shape through the Toastmasters program. I was sharing this with some district 2 days ago, and then after I finished, what I heard from the district team is that 30 teachers' dues were paid by some individuals who agreed to pay. So my friends, now is the time to help those most deserving cases. And now the next kick is, what do we do when we have lost confidence sometimes in our leaderships, because in our own leadership traits, in our own abilities to lead, in our own ability to direct, and in our own leadership traits, what do we do? It's time that we reignite our passion to learn, more important, to learn, because it is in the learning, it is in the joys in the learning to realize the dreams. And the tool is to reignite ourselves. So find the reason to reignite yourself and look for those golden nuggets which is embedded into the Toastmasters program, and just make it a habit to just go through them all over again. As we leave the legacy program go on 30th of June, when we integrate all our members only in the Pathways program, it is time to reflect, time to take a deep dive into the Pathways program. 63 projects, 63 skills that you can learn. I'm not sure whether you need anything else other than those to lead our life even in this pandemic time. So it is time to run club meetings, design club meetings to the need of the hour, to the need of the company, to the need of the members, so that we provide ourselves to retool ourselves. So that's another thing that I would like to leave with you. And also, next skill that I would like to leave with you for now, if you have not heard this from me, it is time, because all of us, whether we are district officers, whether we are an international president or a past international president, whether we are serving on the board, whether we are region advisor, whether we are a district officer, we all belong to our club. That, that is our mother. That is our home. So I would like to leave with you a home club concept. To look inwards than outwards. Yes, when we get out to the district, it is outward looking that we need. But when we look inwards, it is our club. Charity begins at home. So it is time for us to rebuild our club to be the strongest club in the world. It is to have the right number of members so that our meetings become interesting. These tough times will pass soon, and we hope and pray that it passes soon and give us the opportunity to come back face to face, my friends. And when we get back to face, we don't want to get into those meetings which has renewed for 8 members or which will have 12 members. We want to get into a room where there is 30 members so that we can become dynamic in our learning process. So it is please look inwards of your home clubs, and with all the researchers show, in my experience, in a small district like yours to the 350 clubs district that I belong to, when you get the home club right, we need to just share that only with one more club, sometimes 1.5 clubs, not even 2. To get their club right. So in a crisis moment like this, there's a joy in sharing the best practices because of the right reason to improve the quality of life of our members, help them get their next job, help them with the skills they need and inside the meeting. Because as I said, let us reignite the dreams of our members in the learning laboratory. Whether it's online for the moment and soon to be offline, let us get that skill right so that we can design and model our club meetings to get our members connected to the big picture. Because today's newest member of our clubs are the future of our organization, while the experienced members of our clubs are the immediate leaders of our immediate leaders whom we need to lead in the next coming months, because that is the opportunity we have in these crisis moments. So just while leaving you with all these things, and you will come up with better ideas to even strengthen the online presence so that when we meet face to face, we can come back. We can cherish our joy that we built when we were at home. Here we are ready, bubbling with energy and enthusiasm. And then, like a free bird, like a butterfly fly, we are ready to fly and conquer the world at large. For us to take better care of our members, we need to have a caring hand and a loving heart in and outside of our clubs, my friends. When you're in the middle of a crisis, your priorities become very clear very quickly, and that is what is clear to me. It has brought a fresh perspective to the importance of limited resources to meet face to face, but the new perspective has allowed us to learn new skills in this lockdown time, which can be put into use when we meet face to face. Did we ever think we will be so successful meeting online, getting 70 countries to represent in one meeting? And I heard Deepak, our international president, addressing that meeting. Did we ever think we will work from home to this magnitude when the world sometimes will never be the same for some people who work in the IT world and some fields, because these offices may not revert back to their office structure, because the online working culture has proven to be so successful that they might not go back to their meeting, go back to their offices, but they will look for Toastmasters Club to meet people, like-minded people, to learn and grow. So there is another opportunity that lies ahead of us when we can attract members who may work from home. Because as you know, you have three eminent district officials selected. I have three eminent world officers in my house. When I was locked down before going to office, I had to just have only one and only Toastmaster skill to go through that 50 days. Just listen to the three women at home, shut up and go to sleep in the night, and get back to work the following day. So it is for us to just wait for that time. Did we ever think we will watch the world champion of public speaking online? It will be a treat to see how that is going to happen. You will also witness the Toastmasters International Annual General Meeting online, probably. I'm waiting and excited to hear about that, how we are going to, because I'm also somewhat an official in that meeting. So we are yet waiting to see how that is going to work. So my friends, this crisis provides a powerful reminder of our responsibilities to the communities we serve. And as leaders, we all should always be mindful about what it means to act with purpose and as a force for good in Toastmasters, where leaders are made. Back to you, Elsa.